Lately, I've been reflecting a lot on the struggles of feeling like I'm playing catch up in life. It's a struggle that I've personally encountered, and I'm sure that many of you guys can relate as well. Whenever I talk to anyone about this, it almost feels like it's just like this phenomenon that everyone is also facing the same dilemma. I really think it's indicative of a larger cultural trend that we can just all really relate to. I see so many videos on here and posts on Reddit from people in their late teens, early 20s, talking about how they've wasted their life, how their life's over, how they're so far behind from their peers that they are essentially goners. And it just has me thinking about why this is just such a widespread thought process now amongst everyone, and how everyone feels like they are so far behind everyone else, and just really getting to the root of understanding this. We all experience a sense of insecurity and inadequacy at times, and it feels like no matter how much we try to do or how much we try to play catch up, it's just never enough. It's really a feeling that can just be hard to articulate, and it can be experienced in just so many forms. Reflecting on this has just caused me to assess my own character traits. It's been my belief that my competitive nature has just been very beneficial. It allows me to strive to become the better person I was yesterday and just kind of stay on track and achieve as much as I possibly can. But now I'm kind of seeing that this can also be looked at as a detriment, where I'm just constantly putting so much anxiety and stress on myself to be the best person I can possibly be and to keep up with everyone else, that it's just been kind of, driving me crazy in a sense. This ambition has often just taken away a lot of my joy for life. It's been difficult to come to terms with this, but I've really just been trying to identify why this urge has been ingrained in my life. And I think this urge just comes from my past and my upbringing, and coming from a more of a lower class family, and just striving to live a life that I'm really proud of, and not just being succumbed to having to live that same type of life as I get older. It's ingrained in our human nature to strive to become, the idealized versions of ourselves, and to learn from other people's successes. And by spending all this time and energy going through Instagram pages of celebrities and influencers living these lavish lives, I can see how people can feel like they are being left behind because they can't share those same experiences. And although a lot of those pages are real in a lot of senses, where they are living to an extent those idealized lives, there's so many people too that are just fronting so much smoke and mirrors and BS, but still posturing as if they're living these great lives, when in reality they could be going through such tormented, bad experiences as well, but they don't show that. So people are left just feeling like all they have is this final product that isn't actually reality. And the end result is the people that are watching this feel like they are less than because they aren't achieving the same type of success, and therefore feeling like they're getting left behind. I found myself doing this at such an extreme level that it was just causing just manic depression in my life, because I felt that as someone who's very competitive, that I had to live up to this expectation, or I could, be on the same level as those people. And when I really took inventory and I realized that I was far off, it was just causing so much torment. And although I try to remain in a state of joy and positivity in my life, I find that that's not always possible. We all experience these moments of sadness and depression, and I'm definitely no stranger to that. And rather than attempt to bottle up these feelings and emotions, I've just come to just accept them and embrace them and recognize them as just that, they're feelings. And these feelings are just a part of life. There's a lot of ebb and flows, and as you come to embrace them and learn from them, you can essentially grow from them and become a better person. And seeking that balance between good and bad times, lightness and darkness, has just allowed me to live just a more overall meaningful life. I've come to realize that striving for all this success and feeling this need to be loved by everyone is just, in a sense, rooted in a lack of self-love. Oftentimes, it's difficult to kind of come to terms with the fact that there's a lot of people that are my age that are living much more relaxed, comfortable lives than myself, but also understanding that on the other side of the coin, that there's people that are not either. So just kind of that balancing act has just been just something that I've just been working through. And although I'm still learning to accept myself, that process has become a freeing experience, as I'm not allowing myself to feel as inadequate and not judging who I am as a person, and that lane of feeling left behind be dictated by other people's success and rather my own and what I can actually do. I mean, at the end of the day, life is ever evolving, it's unpredictable, and it's really hard to predict the future, and it's really hard to know if your actions are going to have a good result or a bad result. And even if we try to map out our perfect lives and make all the right decisions and predict the future, it oftentimes just never works out the way we really want them to. Learning to accept the beauty of the unknown and just going with your gut and just embracing the unknown has just been really, I guess, euphoric for me in a sense. This lack of control can feel very daunting, but it's also very liberating as well. Taking solstice and knowing that no matter what life throws our way, that we can just navigate it to the best of our abilities and trust our guts and just lean into that. This path of self-development has led me to have really meaningful conversations with friends that have achieved extraordinary things, and learning a lot about the iceberg method and seeing the success at the top of the iceberg, and then you go underwater and there's all these things such as anxiety, doubt, self-limiting beliefs, all things that I've personally experienced, and talking to them and seeing how the road to their success was very daunting and difficult as well. And although a lot of people just only see them as, I guess, overnight success or what they've accomplished to this point, they lack an understanding and knowing that it's a very difficult road for many people, especially when you don't have the types of resources that some people were born into or that are luckily provided or whatever the case may be. These conversations have been so invaluable to me, learning about how they navigated through difficult times, how they had to live in vans for periods of time so they made sure that they made payroll, just so many different experiences, and not letting their fear of falling behind in life get in the way of what they were trying to achieve. That sense of relief in knowing that these same people were facing these similar doubts and that I wasn't crazy, and that this sense of feeling left behind or everything else is very natural, and it's just, I guess, engraved in our subconscious minds these days. And this has just given me that newfound sense of hope that comparing myself just isn't the right way to go. Really, it's just comparing yourself to the person you were yesterday and focusing on what you can actually accomplish and not letting that, I guess, anxiety of seeing what everyone else is doing and everyone else is so much farther ahead of you kind of hinder your performance and what you are actually capable of doing. And as I'm working closer to becoming just fully comfortable and happy with the person I am, I just know that once I reach that level, it's just going to be just so euphoric and just so profound and allow me to achieve anything I've ever wanted. As I'm getting closer and closer to this point, I'm realizing that there's no such thing as falling behind in life. It's simply a matter of using an incorrect measuring stick. It can be so easy to get caught up in comparing yourself to the success of others, to allow our worth and value to be determined by arbitrary standards. I'm constantly having to remind myself that this isn't the way to measure my life, and that social media has put a very toxic thought process in our minds that this is the appropriate way to measure life, and it simply is not. And that's why I'm choosing to make this video, because I hope it sets a constant reminder to not compare yourself to those other people on those social platforms that are just, I guess, cluttered with filters and angles and captions and everything else that can just put you down while it lifts them up. I just think that it's not helpful. It's not helpful. Remember that your own unique journey defines who you are as a person, and that you can achieve whatever you want at any given point in life, and just to not allow those outside vanity optics to be a detriment and getting in the way of you achieving your own goals. Put aside that thought process that it's too late in life to do XYZ, because it's simply not. And I'm gonna show that in this YouTube channel as someone in their 30s who limited himself from starting 5 years ago as he thought it was too late. And now I'm in my 30s and I'm gonna do it now. And I'm gonna show myself and everyone else that it's not too late. Thanks so much for watching this video. If it brought you value, please hit that thumbs up button. And if you haven't, subscribe as well. If you like this video, be sure to check out this next one coming up. And I'll catch you in the next one, guys. Later.